Have you ever noticed that the wisest people often speak the least? It's not because they lack words, it's because they understand their weight. A truly intelligent person knows that some things are better left unsaid, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Words can build, but they can also destroy, and the sharpest minds choose theirs carefully. Today, we're uncovering 7 things an intelligent person never says, not out of deception, but out of self-mastery. If you've said these before, don't worry. Growth is a journey. Stick around, because mastering your words might just be the key to mastering your life. 1. I already know that. Ever caught yourself saying, "I already know that"? It's one of the most deceptive phrases in the world. It makes us feel wise, yet it often reveals the opposite. Why? Because if you truly knew it, you'd be living it. Think about it. How many times have you nodded along to good advice, only to carry on as if you never heard it? We hear wisdom, we acknowledge it, but we don't apply it. And that's the real problem. There's a vast difference between knowing something and living it. I used to be that person. Someone would say, "Waking up early makes you more productive," and I'd reply, "Yeah, I know." I'd even give the wise nod, as if I had mastered the art of discipline. But what did I actually do? Hit snooze, roll over, and sleep until noon. I knew waking up early was good for me, but I wasn't doing it. I wasn't living it. And that's the trap. Saying, "I already know that," becomes a shield. It protects us from the discomfort of change, from the responsibility of action. It's like owning a powerful sports car, but never driving it. You admire it, you know its potential, but if you never take it on the road, does it really matter? The moment this hit me was when someone told me, "Stop checking your phone first thing in the morning. It ruins your focus." My first instinct? Yeah, I know. I had heard it 1,000 times. But then I looked at my life. Why was I always scattered? Why did I feel behind before the day even began? It hit me like a ton of bricks. I wasn't doing the simple things I already knew I should be doing. So I stopped saying, "I know," and started applying. I placed my phone out of reach before bed. And suddenly, my mornings became clearer. My mind felt sharper. The chaos faded. A tiny shift in action changed everything. I had known the truth for years, but until I actually lived it, nothing changed. And here's a deeper truth. The people who truly know don't need to say it. They live it. Look at the most successful people, entrepreneurs, athletes, masters of their craft. They don't walk around saying, "I already know that." They're too busy doing. They're practicing, failing, adjusting, improving. They don't just talk about wisdom, they embody it. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I already know that," pause. Ask yourself, am I actually living this? Or am I just collecting knowledge without using it? Because knowledge, no matter how profound, means nothing without action. It's easy to absorb information, to feel smart for recognizing truth. But the real power lies in application. When I stopped being the "I already know" guy and started actually doing the things I claimed to understand, everything shifted. Waking up early wasn't just a theory, it became a habit. Eliminating distractions wasn't just good advice, it became a way of life. And that's when true transformation happens. So next time wisdom crosses your path, don't brush it off. Instead of saying, "I know," ask yourself, how can I apply this to make my life better? Because real intelligence isn't about how much you know, it's about how much you actually use. 2. That's not fair. How many times have you caught yourself saying, "That's not fair"? Probably more than you'd like to admit. It's a phrase that feels good in the moment, a way to protest against life's injustices, to shake our fists at the universe and demand balance. But here's the hard truth. Life isn't fair, and it never will be. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you free yourself from the illusion that the world owes you something. When I was younger, I was obsessed with fairness. If someone else got an opportunity I wanted, I'd think, why them? I worked just as hard. If I failed at something, I convinced myself life was rigged against me. I was stuck in this mindset until a mentor looked me in the eye and said, "Stop whining. Fairness is a myth." It stung, but it was the wake-up call I needed. Look at nature. It's not fair. Some animals are born predators, others prey. Some people are born into wealth, others into struggle. Some have talents that come effortlessly, while others have to work twice as hard for half the results. That's just reality. Fairness isn't some universal law. It's a human construct, something we cling to because it makes us feel like life should follow our rules. But it doesn't. And here's the real danger of the "that's not fair" mindset. It drains your energy. Every moment you spend complaining about unfairness is a moment you could be using to adapt, grow, and overcome. The most successful people don't waste time crying about what's fair. They don't say, "That's not fair." They say, "What's next? How do I work around this? How do I turn this into my advantage?" Take Michael Jordan. He didn't make his high school varsity basketball team. Was that fair? Maybe not. But instead of sulking, he worked harder than anyone else until he became one of the greatest athletes of all time. Fairness didn't hand him success. His relentless effort did. I had my own moment of realization when I lost out on a promotion I thought I deserved. My first reaction, "That's not fair." But after the initial frustration, I asked myself a better question. What can I do about it? Complaining wouldn't change the outcome, so I got to work. I refined my skills, built stronger relationships, and eventually landed an even better position than the one I originally wanted. That never would have happened if I had stayed stuck in resentment. Here's the core Stoic truth. Fairness is irrelevant. Resilience is everything. Life isn't about whether the game is fair. It's about how you play your hand with the cards you've been dealt. You can waste time wishing things were different, or you can use your energy to change what you can control, your attitude, your effort, your response. That shift in mindset is everything. It's the difference between being a victim of your circumstances and becoming the architect of your own success. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "That's not fair," pause. Take a deep breath. Instead of dwelling on what you can't change, focus on what you can. Because fairness was never the point. Strength, resilience, and adaptability are. 3. I deserve this are the trap of entitlement. I deserve this. It's the phrase we use to justify skipping the gym, indulging in self-pity, or expecting rewards just because we worked hard. It feels good to say, doesn't it? There's comfort in believing the universe owes us something. But here's the truth. Life doesn't operate on a deserve system. There's no cosmic rule that guarantees success just because you put in effort. Life is unpredictable and indifferent to what you think you're owed. And if you cling to the "I deserve this" mindset, you're setting yourself up for frustration. I used to think this way. I've worked hard, so I deserve success. I've been patient, so I deserve a break. But when things didn't go my way, I felt bitter. Then I learned a harsh truth. Deserving something doesn't entitle you to it. The real rewards go to those who take action, stay consistent, and refuse to quit. Think about it. How many people do you know sit around complaining about what they deserve? I deserve a promotion, they say, while putting in the bare minimum. I deserve love, they claim, while refusing to grow as a person. This mindset becomes an excuse to avoid hard truths. Sometimes you have to work even harder, wait even longer, and face rejection without losing momentum. Ask yourself, do I truly deserve what I'm asking for, or am I just hoping life will hand it to me? Because here's the reality. The universe doesn't give out participation trophies. You don't get rewarded for wanting something. You get rewarded for showing up, pushing forward, and refusing to quit. I had to learn this firsthand. There was a time when I believed I deserved success. I had put in the hours and sacrificed weekends, but I wasn't getting the opportunities I wanted. Why? Because I wasn't doing more than the bare minimum. Once I realized that, I stopped saying I deserve this and started asking, what else can I do to earn this? That shift in mindset changed everything. Here's the deeper lesson. Deserving is passive. Earning is active. When you stop focusing on what you think you deserve and start focusing on what you're willing to work for, you take back control. You stop waiting for life to validate you and start creating your own opportunities. But don't mistake this for undervaluing yourself. There's a difference between entitlement and self-respect. Knowing your worth is essential. It keeps you from settling. But here's the truth. Your worth isn't defined by what you think you deserve. It's defined by what you're willing to do to make things happen. So next time you think, I deserve this, stop. Ask yourself, have I truly earned it? Am I doing everything in my power to make this happen? Because life owes you nothing. But when you show up, put in the work and refuse to quit, life has a way of rewarding those who earn it, not those who expect it. So don't say, I deserve this. Say, I'm willing to earn this. Because in the end, earned success always feels better than entitled success. 4. I'm too old, or I'm too young for this. This phrase is one of the greatest excuses, a way of convincing yourself that your age, whether too high or too low, is a valid reason to avoid something challenging, exciting, or unfamiliar. But let's be honest, is it really about age, or is it about fear? Fear of failure, fear of judgment, or maybe even fear of success? Because here's the truth. Age is rarely the real obstacle. Your mindset is. Let's start with the I'm too old excuse. Society loves to push the idea that there's an expiration date on ambition, dreams, and new beginnings. But history proves otherwise. Colonel Sanders started KFC in his 60s. Grandma Moses began painting in her late 70s. Morgan Freeman didn't become a household name until his 50s. None of these people let age define their limits. They didn't say, I'm too old for this. They got to work. Experience, wisdom, and perspective. These are the gifts that come with age. And if you're not using them to chase your goals, you're wasting the very things that make you stronger. Now, let's talk about the I'm too young excuse. Too often, we use this phrase when we feel inexperienced or fear that others won't take us seriously. But here's the thing, being young is your superpower. It's the time when you can take risks, make mistakes, and bounce back faster than ever. Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook in his early 20s. Malala Yousafzai became a global activist as a teenager. If they had let their age hold them back, the world would have missed out on their brilliance. I've used both of these excuses at different times in my life. When I was younger, I passed up opportunities because I thought I wasn't ready. I'm too young, I'll do it later. But later turned into years of regret. Then, as I got older, I caught myself thinking, maybe it's too late for me to try this. But every time I pushed past those doubts, I found growth, success, and new possibilities waiting on the other side. Here's the deeper lesson. Age is just a number. It's your belief about that number that defines your potential. The "I'm too old" or "I'm too young" excuse is nothing more than a mindset trap, a way to stay in your comfort zone. It's easier to blame age than to admit you're afraid of stepping into the unknown. But the unknown is where growth happens. If you think you're too old, ask, am I really out of time, or am I just afraid to start? If you think you're too young, ask, is it really about age, or am I afraid of failing? Once you strip away the excuse, you'll realize age has nothing to do with success. So, reframe your mindset. Instead of saying, I'm too old, say, I have the wisdom and experience to make this work. Instead of saying, I'm too young, say, I have the energy and fresh perspective to make this happen. Age only limits you if you let it. Whether you're 18 or 80, you have the power to take action, pursue your dreams, and create a meaningful life. Stop using age as an excuse. Start using it as an advantage. 5. They're just lucky. The ultimate cop-out. When we see someone succeed, whether in business, fitness, relationships, or life, it's easy to dismiss it as luck. It's comforting, isn't it? If they're just lucky, then we don't have to face the uncomfortable truth that maybe they worked harder, sacrificed more, or made better choices. But let's be honest, luck is rarely the full story. Think about it. We see the promotion, but not the sleepless nights. We see the thriving business, but not the years of failures. We see the fit body, but not the countless times they said no to junk food. Labeling someone's success as luck is like watching the final scene of a movie and pretending the rest of the story never happened. Sure, luck exists. Being in the right place, meeting the right person, getting an unexpected opportunity. But here's the truth. Luck only works if you're prepared to seize the opportunity when it comes. Luck isn't stumbling onto a pot of gold. It's showing up every day with a shovel, ready to dig, even when you don't know where the treasure is. I used to believe in luck too. I'd look at successful people and think, they must have had it easy. They probably had connections, money, or a magical break. But then I started paying attention. I read their stories, listened to their journeys, and noticed the patterns: relentless focus, countless failures, and a refusal to quit. Take Bryan Cranston, for example. Before Breaking Bad made him a household name, he spent decades grinding, taking small roles, honing his craft, facing rejection. Was he lucky to land the role of Walter White? Maybe. But without years of preparation, that lucky break would have passed him by. Here's the deeper truth. Calling someone lucky is often a reflection of our own insecurities. It's easier to blame their success on luck than to admit we might not be putting in the work. It's easier to envy their achievements than to confront our own shortcomings. But every time you dismiss someone's success as luck, you rob yourself of the opportunity to learn from them. Instead of saying they're just lucky, ask, what did they do to get there? What habits, choices, and sacrifices did they make? How can I apply that to my own life? You'll often find that their luck is really a combination of hard work, smart decisions, and persistence. Here's a simple but powerful truth. Start creating your own luck. Put yourself in situations where opportunities can find you. Network, learn new skills, take risks, keep showing up. The more you prepare, the luckier you'll seem to everyone else. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, they're just lucky, stop. Remind yourself, luck might open the door, but hard work is what gets you through it. Instead of envying someone else's success, use it as fuel to create your own. Because at the end of the day, the luckiest people are simply the ones who refuse to give up. 6. That's too risky. The perfect excuse for staying in your comfort zone. Risk is scary, no doubt about it. It's unpredictable, uncomfortable, and comes with the possibility of failure. But let's flip the script for a second. What's the bigger risk? Trying something new and failing? Or staying stuck in the same place forever? When we say, that's too risky, what we're really saying is, I'm afraid of the unknown. And that's okay. It's human. But let's be honest, every meaningful accomplishment in life comes with some level of risk. Starting a business, pursuing a relationship, moving to a new city, switching careers. These are all risky moves, but they're also the moves that lead to growth, fulfillment, and a life worth living. I remember a time when I passed up an opportunity because I thought it was too risky. It was a project I had always dreamed of doing, but the fear of failure, losing money, or looking foolish held me back. So, I played it safe. And guess what? That safe decision haunted me, not because I failed, but because I never even tried. I realized that playing it safe was the riskiest move of all. It cost me time, growth, and the chance to see what I was truly capable of. Here's the thing about risk. It's unavoidable. Even staying in your comfort zone carries risks, stagnation, regret, and missed opportunities. Life itself is a risk. You could wake up tomorrow and face something unexpected, so why not take risks that are aligned with your goals and dreams? Think about the people you admire. Do you think they got where they are by avoiding risk? Elon Musk bet everything on Tesla and SpaceX when people called him crazy. Oprah Winfrey risked leaving a secure job to start her own show. Your favorite athletes, artists, and entrepreneurs all took risks, investing time, money, and effort with no guarantee of success. But here's the key. Successful people don't take risks blindly. They take calculated risks. They weigh the pros and cons, prepare as much as possible, and then leap. The goal isn't to eliminate risk, it's to manage it. So, how do you reframe risk? Instead of saying, that's too risky, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Usually, it's not as bad as you think. What's the best that could happen? Focus on the potential upside. And here's the deeper truth. Avoiding risk is avoiding life. The moments that define us are always the ones where we step into the unknown, face our fears, and take a chance. Yes, you might fail, but even failure teaches you something valuable. It's a stepping stone, not a dead end, because in the end, playing it safe is the biggest risk of all. It guarantees you'll never grow, never learn, and never achieve anything extraordinary. So next time you catch yourself saying, that's too risky, stop. Ask yourself, is it really too risky, or am I just too afraid? Then remind yourself, the best things in life always lie on the other side of risk. 7. That's not how we've always done it. The battle cry of the stagnant. This phrase is often used to defend tradition, routine, and the comfort of the familiar. But let's be honest, how we've always done it is often the reason we're stuck, uninspired, and falling behind. Clinging to the past may feel safe, but it's also a guaranteed path to irrelevance. The world is constantly evolving. Technology advances, industries shift, cultures change, and so must we. Imagine if humanity had stuck with how it's always been done. We'd still be lighting our homes with candles, riding horses to work, and believing the Earth was the center of the universe. Progress only happens when someone challenges the status quo and asks, "Is there a better way?" I've seen this mindset firsthand. I once worked on a team where this phrase was practically a motto. Every time someone suggested a new idea, it was shot down with, "That's not how we've always done it." At first, it seemed logical. Why fix what isn't broken? But over time, it became clear that this thinking was killing innovation. Competitors were outpacing us. Morale was low. No one felt empowered to think creatively. Eventually, I decided to challenge this. I proposed a new way to solve a recurring issue. At first, people resisted. It was uncomfortable, unfamiliar. But once we tried it, it worked. Not only did it solve the problem, but it also sparked even more innovation. That experience taught me a valuable lesson. Tradition is useful, but progress is essential. Here's the thing, that's not how we've always done it, is often just fear in disguise. Fear of change, fear of failure, fear of the unknown. It's easier to stick with what's familiar than to risk something new. But growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when we challenge old ways, take risks, and embrace the uncomfortable process of evolution. Look at the world's most successful people and companies. Apple didn't stick to old ways when they introduced the iPhone. Netflix didn't cling to DVD rentals when they saw the future in streaming. Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi didn't accept the status quo. They dared to dream of something better. But here's the key. Change doesn't mean abandoning everything. It means building on what works and improving what doesn't. Tradition has its place. It gives us stability and identity. But when tradition becomes a roadblock to progress, it's time to let it go. So next time you hear yourself or someone else say, "That's not how we've always done it," pause. Ask yourself, is the old way still serving us? If not, it's time to adapt. Yes, change is uncomfortable. Yes, it's risky. But it's also where growth, innovation, and greatness live. Here's the deeper truth. The world doesn't wait for anyone. If you refuse to adapt, you'll be left behind. But if you're willing to challenge the status quo, you open the door to opportunities you never imagined. So let go of how it's always been done and start asking, what's the best way to do it now? Because the future belongs to those who dare to reinvent the present. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "That's too risky," or any of these other phrases, pause. Ask yourself, is it fear, or is it just comfort disguised as wisdom? Growth never happens in safety. It happens when you challenge yourself, take bold steps, and refuse to let limiting beliefs define your future. Life is too short for excuses. Every hesitation today is a regret waiting to happen tomorrow. So take the leap. Bet on yourself. Because the life you want won't come to you. You have to create it. If this message resonated with you, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And stay tuned. Next time, we're diving even deeper into the mindset of those who truly thrive. Until then, stay fearless.